Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're watching, you're listening, this is your first show, or you've been with us since the beginning. We are grateful for you taking time out of your day to join the Voices for Voices family with this particular episode. If you can do us a big favor. Give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost. And if you're able to, reach into the good old phone and share the Voices for Voices podcast with maybe 25 or 50 of your contacts in your phone. Um, we do have a huge goal of reaching and helping 3 billion people. That's billion with a B. Our big goal is to help and reach 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And the only reason why we have a show is because of you. Thank you for allowing us to continue having your confidence and filming and dropping these episodes, which we think are oh so important. A couple of things wanted to really address uh, mental health in sports. And I'm going to use baseball. Um, children growing up, from T-ball all the way up until their high school years and maybe beyond. And the mental health, the mental toll the game can take on players, coaches, even attendees that are there to watch the game. And so there was a scenario that happened just the other day, and I'm going to share it and then talk about it. Was at my nephew's ball game, and first batter on the other team came up to bat, as they do. And the pitcher, the ball got away from him, ended up hitting the young man in his, I guess, upper back, close to the neck area. And where the game was at, it was a huge complex. There were lots, hi Lucy. There were lots of fields. There's lots of things going on, but they didn't have a medical tent. They didn't have support medically that if something were to, I mean, this was a huge complex. Say hi, Lucy. I'm on TV. Yeah. Um, so no medical tent, no medical attention, nobody on call, nobody. And I've seen, and maybe this is just, the nature of football. If this is a football game, more than likely, more than likely there would be a medical personnel at the game in case that somebody got hurt. They needed to call the ambulance, the squad, and there was none of that at the ball game at these. I mean, this complex was huge. There was at least 8 different ball fields. Uh, it was just a huge place. So he gets hit, he gets really dizzy, or lightheaded, I'm assuming. And come, the parents, we come to find out that again, there's no medical attention available at this tournament game. Lucy, we're gonna go over here for now, okay? Thank you. And so parents called the 911. Ambulance comes, ends up, stabilizing his neck with a neck brace. Put the young man on the stretcher, take him to the hospital for evaluation and running tests. And the pitcher on my nephew's team got emotional, like really emotional, once the game started up again. And and so the umpires called the game, said, the game's over. This is, seeing, what had occurred. The pitcher was having a very emotional time, which I probably would too, because he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't, it, it was not done on purpose at all. And so the mental health of my nephew's team, I mean, everybody's watching this, in real time, watching a player for the other team with the ambulance there, lights and everything, and like I said, taking him to the hospital for further evaluation. And so I can't imagine what the mental health of the other, I'm saying the other team because I'll say my nephew's team, so you know the difference. So the other team, I can't imagine what they're thinking and going through because it's their friend, their teammate, everything. Not to mention they're still kids, and even adults, getting emotional. And so we gotta think about that. Um, yeah, we have to think about that. I don't know if there needs to be, a mental health professional there at a tournament, at a game. And I know people are like, well, it's going to cost extra money and all these things. Well, this is life, folks. This is like we get one shot at this. That's it. And so if somebody needs assistance like that, it needs to be there. People are like, well, it's one in a million or one in 1,000 short, chances. It doesn't matter. Again, I revert you or refer you to football games, high school games, middle school games, football. And here's Lucy again. Um, there's medical staff right there. So why can't we do it for a baseball game? Okay, Lucy, Betty, we're doing this. So I've done at least one show on this topic of, and I think it was a cheerleading competition last year where there were like over 100 cheerleaders, and it was a warm day. Somebody could have got sick, somebody could have got hurt. You know, when they're throwing up in the air and they're doing flips and twists and turns, they catch them. Well, what if they miss them? Not on purpose, but maybe they do. I don't know. And so that's what drew me to do that episode because the medical or and mental health is, it's important one way, but not the other. It's okay. It's good for football, but it's not for cheerleading, and it's not for, huge tournaments at a huge sporting complex. I mean, I don't even think they had ice to put on the poor kid's neck. I mean, so we're talking, the mental health is huge. It's trauma. I mean, well, Justin, well, it's not, they're not out in the war. Like, it doesn't matter. It's still trauma. It's still PTSD seeing some person, teammate, be injured. Not just from the other team and their fans and their parents and loved ones, but the umpires, my nephew's team, nephew's coaches, our supporters. At that point, it becomes, life over sport. And then the mental health for the pitcher on my nephew's team, who was just so emotional and he was, like crying and being being upset because he didn't mean to hit the batter. You might say, oh, well, maybe there's bad blood between. These are kids, and there was nothing of the sort. It was the first batter of the game, so nothing had even happened. It was the first batter of the game, so it wasn't like, from what I understand, years ago, baseball teams sometimes if a player hit a home run, the next time it comes to bat, maybe the pitcher throws out his ankle um, and then the other team, when it's the other team's turn to take the field, then they try to hit a batter, not in the head, not trying to thoroughly injure, but it's just something that you has happened in the past. But this had nothing to do with what occurred. And so the trauma and that of not only the other team, but my nephew's team, that's trauma. That's trauma, everybody. When you see something, it's out of the ordinary, somebody gets hurt. It was a championship game for the tournament. The winner was gonna get, the first place trophy. and the other team was going to get the second place trophy. So we just need to think as a society what or how we can do better. I mean, this complex had one of the nicest concession stands I've seen for, a kid, say Little League or, you know, Little League tournaments. And there were softball tournaments going on as well. Like I said, there are a lot of fields, a lot of games going on. And so people could go to the concession stand and get something to eat, something to drink. Yet they couldn't get ice for the poor kid until the ambulance, the squad came. And it was hard to really watch. And so when we think that, other events like that happen, if somebody's in, somebody just needs help, it's traumatic if that person doesn't want help or doesn't want it. That's traumatic for everybody. It's not just if there are children, but for the adults as well. It's like we support you. We just want you to get help. And so at this ball game, I would hope that any future games, the protocol would include medical staff available. They can assess the situation. I mean, they had golf carts that are driving all around. So get one for the medical people. Let them assess the situation and let them be the ones in contact with dispatch for the emergency squad to come. Shouldn't be letting that up to the family because they're in shock too of how long is it going to take for them to come? When are they going to be here? I just saw my son or my daughter. They need help right now. And so we have to think about that. It's like at school. Yeah, there needs to be medical people and there needs to be mental health help on a daily basis, not one of these rotating ones where, okay, well, every Monday they'll be there. Like, if you want to build your huge new school for millions of dollars and you want to add that tax in the form of a levy, yet you don't want to. hire a full-time mental health professional for all of the schools, not just one of them, but all of them. Because the sooner that mental health professional is able to help an individual or individuals, I'm just guessing, I don't know. I'm guessing that outcomes may be a little bit better in that respect. Again, I don't know. Just seems like it would be. Just like the sooner there's medical attention, then they're able to assess the situation, help where they can, and where they can't, they have a direct line to reach out to 911 here in the United States. So we gotta think about that. Anybody has children out there, a child or multiple children. Kids are growing up faster and faster these days. We all know that. They're still kids and their brains are still growing and from the back to the front. So while you can have a decent level conversation with them, there's still a difference. Like, I am 37 years older than my child, our child. So when when she wants something or wants to reason and bargain, say, you're still the kid, you're still a child. That that's good that you're asking. Thank you. But we shouldn't be letting a 7, 6, 8-year old tell us what to do. Nor should we be on a first name basis. Like, you're not in my family, number one. Number two, it's just proper to way to handle it. And so that falls on to the parents. The parents aren't gonna police that. They're gonna keep doing it. And what 8-year-old needs an iPhone and a iWatch? Tell me. I'd love to hear why an 8-year-old or 7 or 9 needs an iWatch and Apple, and I'm not promoting them. It'd be nice. So Tim Cook, you can reach out. You can definitely have you as a supporter, sponsor, Voices for Voices. Because once one thing happens, then you get about 10 things down the road And then you can't turn around because then it becomes the child saying, "Well, you let me do this, and we do that, and we do this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that." That parent is gonna have a hard time reeling that, reeling those non-rules in. So don't call me by my first name if you're a kid. It's either Mr., Miss, or Mrs., followed by their last name. Some people say, well, that's just somebody being forward and being polite or whatever. I say, well, what do what do they call their teacher? What are their teacher's name's Ryan? Are the kids going, Ryan, 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 Ryan? H-E double hockey sticks? No. It's Mr. last name. Just like when there's other adults. Miss last name. Mrs. last name. Mr. last name. Because if we don't step in and step up to do it, nobody else will. Because the other parents of this hypothetical kid aren't policing it. They're not setting boundaries and rules. Like I just mentioned, 8-year-old has a Apple Watch and a phone. Hello, we're trying to reduce screens in front of kids and even adults. And so we're starting at 8 years old down that path. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a dad. I'm just a dad. I get relegated as the dad that doesn't know anything. Okay, that's cool. I can't change how people think. People are going to judge, they're going to gossip. That's just what people do. They shouldn't, but that's what people do. So we've covered quite a lot here in this episode. Um, Thank you for joining us. Again, if you can give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, pull your phone out, share the Voices for Voices podcast with 25, 50, 100 of your contacts in your phone. Share our show with them. These are all things that are free to do, and we all do them anyways. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. And we want to thank each and every one of you tuned in for this episode, previous episodes, all of our episodes. We're getting closer to 530 episodes. Things are just taking off. Thank you. Thank you for entrusting your faith with us. Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a show. So take care. Let's celebrate the voices of the world. Let's be a voice for ourselves and those who are in need. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye bye.